Imagine finding a 2,000-year-old machine at the bottom of the sea. Inside it are dozens of precision-cut bronze gears capable of tracking the moon, predicting eclipses, and displaying the movement of planets. Now imagine discovering concrete that repairs its own cracks, steel with a structure modern researchers needed microscopes to understand, and a weapon whose original formula vanished for centuries. These are not objects from science fiction. They were created by ancient people. The EXEPEL team has prepared another fascinating and informative video for you. Today, we will explore 5 ancient technologies that continue to challenge researchers, not because they were created by aliens or magic, but because their makers possessed knowledge far more sophisticated than we once believed. Our first mystery was discovered in 1901 inside an ancient shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera. At first, the corroded fragments looked like meaningless pieces of bronze. But X-ray imaging eventually revealed at least 30 interlocking gears, tiny inscriptions, rotating dials, and an astonishing mechanical system. Today, we call it the Antikythera mechanism. By turning a handle, its user could model the movements of the sun and moon, follow the 5 planets known to the ancient Greeks, calculate calendar cycles, and even predict possible solar and lunar eclipses. It was, in effect, a portable mechanical model of the cosmos. The machine combined Greek engineering, Babylonian astronomical cycles, and complex mathematics. Researchers understand much of what it displayed, but only about 1/3 of the original mechanism survives. Its complete front display, manufacturing process, and the identity of its creator remain subjects of continuing research. Nothing equally complex survives from the following set. Our next ancient technology is still holding buildings together. Many modern concrete structures begin developing serious cracks after only a few decades, yet Roman harbors, walls, aqueducts, and domes have survived for nearly 2,000 years. For a long time, the small white fragments inside Roman concrete were dismissed as evidence of poor mixing. Modern analysis, however, suggests that these lime clasts may have been part of the secret. When cracks formed and water entered them, the lime-rich material could react, dissolve, and recrystallize inside the damaged area. In some conditions, this process helped seal the crack before it became larger. The Romans may have produced this material through a high-temperature method known as hot mixing. Researchers are now studying these ancient manufacturing strategies to help design longer-lasting modern concrete. The mystery is no longer whether Roman concrete possessed unusual durability. The remaining challenge is understanding exactly how different Roman builders adapted their mixtures for harbors, walls, foundations, and enormous structures like the Pantheon. The third technology was forged in fire. For centuries, warriors feared blades made from what Europeans called Damascus steel. These swords were famous for their flowing, water-like surface patterns, sharp edges, and ability to remain tough without becoming excessively brittle. The blades were generally forged from high-carbon crucible steel associated with production traditions extending into South Asia and the Middle East. But making a successful blade required more than simply heating and hammering a piece of metal. The temperature, carbon content, cooling rate, repeated heating, and tiny impurities inside the steel all affected its final internal structure. A small change could destroy the distinctive pattern or weaken the blade. Modern researchers can analyze surviving examples and produce visually similar steels. However, the exact materials, workshop traditions, and techniques used by individual ancient and medieval smiths were rarely written down. Much of that knowledge passed directly from master to apprentice, and parts of it disappeared when supply networks and workshops vanished. The fourth mystery once protected the Byzantine Empire. It was called Greek fire. Historical accounts describe a burning liquid projected from tubes mounted on Byzantine ships. It could ignite enemy vessels and reportedly continued burning on the surface of the sea. Its psychological effect may have been as powerful as the flames themselves. Imagine approaching an enemy ship only to see a stream of fire racing across the water toward you. The weapon probably used a petroleum-based mixture, possibly combined with resins and other substances. But the complete formula and delivery system were closely guarded state secrets. Different specialists may have produced separate components, so that no single person knew the entire process. Other civilizations created incendiary weapons, but the precise composition and engineering of Byzantine Greek fire remain uncertain. The original recipe disappeared, leaving historians to reconstruct it from incomplete descriptions and later experiments. Our final example does not contain gears, concrete, or fire. It is made from stone. At sites such as Sacsayhuaman in Peru, enormous irregular blocks fit together with astonishing precision. Some stones weigh many tons, yet their complex surfaces meet so closely that almost no gap remains between them. There is no credible evidence that mysterious machines or extraterrestrials built these walls. Ancient Andean builders possessed stone tools, enormous workforces, practical geometry, patient craftsmanship, and generations of accumulated knowledge. The real question is how the entire process was organized. Researchers have proposed repeated fitting, marking high points, grinding, hammering, ramps, ropes, and coordinated labor. Experiments show that ancient tools could shape hard stone, but the exact sequence used at every site remains debated because the builders left no detailed instruction manuals. And that may be the most important lesson of all. Ancient technology was rarely the achievement of one mysterious genius. It was usually the result of generations observing materials, testing methods, recording patterns, making mistakes, and passing successful knowledge forward. When wars destroyed workshops, trade routes collapsed, or specialists died without training successors, an advanced technique could disappear. The people were not less intelligent than us. They simply built their knowledge within a different world. The Antikythera mechanism proves that ancient engineers could turn the sky into gears. Roman concrete shows that a wall can behave almost like a material capable of repairing itself. Damascus steel demonstrates how microscopic structures can emerge from carefully controlled fire. Greek fire reveals the military power of guarded knowledge. And Andean stonework reminds us that patience, organization, and human skill can achieve results that appear impossible at first glance. Which ancient technology surprised you the most? Share your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey into the forgotten technologies of the ancient world, subscribe to the EXEPEL channel. Share this video with your friends and activate notifications so you do not miss our next mystery. Because history is not simply a record of what humanity once knew. Sometimes it is also a record of what humanity forgot.